What's up, everybody? My name is Alexandra Dopson. I'm the first lady of 1500 or Nothing, one of the baddest bands, collectives, songwriters, producers in the world. We just celebrated 21 years of excellence in music. I'm also a singer, songwriter, vocal coach, and I work on events and anything to help push music forward. You'll probably find me there.
Okay, good. So, can you talk to me about who your grandparents are and who your parents are?
My grandparents. Yes. My grandparents, on my mother's side, there was like a lineage of preachers. So I feel like that's where we got some of our musical influence from. And on my dad's side as well. Music came from both sides so that we got it honest. My parents were born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. They met at the age of 13. They were both singers. My dad was teaching my mom's girl group how to harmonize, and they were together since they were 13. My dad followed his dream and moved to LA by himself. Got everything situated, and then sent for my sister and my mom. I think I'm going to say, the 70s or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't here yet. But anyway, yeah, so just kind of coming from a family that chases the musical dream, and the music's been a part of our lineage for the whole time. So, and then, we kind of built our foundation here in Los Angeles. So I'm a Cali girl, but I represent Cali, Chicago, and LA. So, yeah.
Okay. And how did you get into music?
I was born into a musical family. Growing up was really, really fun. And I just remember being in a bunch of rehearsals, a bunch of churches, a bunch of studio sessions with my mom, my sister, and my dad. They sang in a group called the Fire Choir. And that was a choir that was built up of all the Motown singers, such as like Stevie Wonder's background singers and all that. So like all of my aunties and uncles were a part of the Motown movement. And so I just recall being in that. And then I think I had my first studio session when I was like 7 years old. Rance and I had a little album out back then. So just growing up, we sang as a family. We toured different churches around Los Angeles as a family. And it was just a part of our daily life. And it got us through everything that we've been through as a family collectively. And so we were known as like the family that sang in the middle of the hood. And we kind of brought a lot of people together. So it was, we really learned at a young age how powerful music is, especially for our Black people in general, or just people in general. But coming up in that type of environment.
And what were some of the earliest memories growing up? Was it your dad playing at the piano? Like, was there some of those earliest memories? You're talking about studio sessions. What did those consist of? Were you like in there till 1 o'clock in the morning as a kid?
Yeah, I was always in some type of rehearsal, studio session, something. Like it was normal for us to be present. But the most memorable parts of growing up was probably just being at the piano with my dad, my sister, my mom, my brother. We literally had a living room full of equipment. There was a drum set, there was a piano. And Rand started very young doing, the drums. And we lived in apartments, so we couldn't really, some of the neighbors didn't like him playing the drums. And then that's when he kind of transitioned into the piano. But, yeah, just singing as a family, after breakfast, before breakfast. We were really known for that in the neighborhood, so.
Okay. So what was something that sparked you to say, you know what, I'm going to contribute as well?
I would say there was a time where we did caroling one year, I remember. My dad worked at a hospital as well. He's always managed multiple careers. And I remember one day this person looked like a complete dead body. And I'll never forget, when we were singing, they just came alive. And that was one of my most vivid memories of how powerful music is. And what it does for people. And that's kind of when I decided I wanted to do this. I feel like I naturally had the gift, and I was already massaging the gift and using it. But I was also very shy growing up, so I wasn't really out there like that. And then growing up in church and being in the choir, that's when my ear got sharpened, and it was really fun too. Singing, already having that background work of singing with my family made everything easy. So when I got to the studio, I'm one take Jake when I got to church, I'm already knowing, like, I already know how to harmonize at a young age. So it's like for me, it was very easy. And then trying to hide in that shy mode that I used to be in, like I got discovered early. So yeah, it chose me.
What were some of the songs that really were like, you know what, I'm gonna do this too?
The songs, wow, there's so many songs. 'Cause I feel like I was exposed to things like Manhattan Transfer, if you're familiar with them. It's a quartet group. They're insane for harmonies. They're well known. My family would sing stuff like that. We would sing a bunch of gospel stuff, just like a lot of the whinings and just like James Cleveland, which my uncle used to sing in that choir on my dad's side, my dad's brother. Just the old church, the Williams brothers, like all the old classic church music we used to sing. And then we had the combination of all the Motown stuff, the Isleys, just the popular music. And then we had also a lot of pop stuff, just stuff that you would never think that we would know. We knew it, because my dad used to sing in cover bands, him and my sister. And so they would have to sing all the top 40s and stuff like that. So my musical taste and musical exposure was extremely eclectic, I would say. So I was very versatile, and I was like very familiar with everything. So that was really a blessing now that, I didn't realize it was doing all that in an early age, but definitely benefited me in several ways.
And when you think about those records, how or who was the matriarch that really was like, you know what, we need to make sure that God is our foundation?
My mama. My mama was a church lady for sure. And then, our family went through a lot of things too. Like my mom, she ended up having cancer 3 times. So it's like, that's how we had to know the Lord, because it was like we was going through stuff at a young age. So seeing that and just knowing through it all, like we had music. If that we had nothing else, we had music to kind of keep us together as a unit, as a family, as a Black model family. Very Cosby like energy in the neighborhoods, and you don't see that very often. I'll never forget. There was a time where I was in my church choir at First AME Church, and they asked all the kids who had 2 parents in the household to stand up. And I'll never forget, it was only like 6 of us, and it was over 150 people in that choir. And that was just really showed me how blessed I was, and it also broke my heart to know that so many broken homes out here. And again, music is still a way to put everybody together. It gave everybody something to do. And yeah, so the foundation of the spiritual side definitely came more from my mother's side, for sure.
And knowing some of the things that you saw growing up, like, show me, can you show me like what part of LA you grew up in? You know?
Well, yes. I grew up on Western and Adams, and that was like maybe a block and a half away from First AME Church. We actually used to go to West Day at first when we had a car, but our car broke down. So my mom was like, we still going to church. So we found one that was walking distance, and that's kind of how we ended up at First AME Church. So the neighborhood growing up, we were in a complex that had about maybe 500 units in there. So you saw a lot of stuff. Like you saw crackheads, you saw mothers and daughters fighting, you saw drug addicts, you saw people coming in shooting up the building. Like we saw a lot at a young age, and we were exposed to a lot. And actually my brother got shot at once, and it didn't graze his ear, but the wind passed. We moved the next day. So we got up out of there. But I'm grateful for that time, because it really showed us how God used our family to be an example for all the other families. Like I remember people coming to my dad like, can you tie my tie, Mr. Dopson? I have a job interview. Like we were the model family, Black family in the middle of the hood. So being exposed to that early made me not want to get involved in a lot of stuff later in life. It made me make better decisions as an adult. But also being a part of that, just showing how like the foundation of God and spirit and church and music, how that all aligns and how it really brings people together, and it really heals a lot of people that are broken and hurt.
So can you show me about like were there plays, were there things that you did in school to really bring this out, like that you wanted to do music?
Yeah, the more now that you got me thinking about this, like I was always the kid that just gravitated to music. Like I loved out of all the cartoons, I loved the Chickmunks. Like of course they sang. Like I realized all these things, like all these movies I used to watch. I remember every song from the movies, like the musicals. I didn't realize it at that time, but I think just picking up on that naturally. Yes, I did some plays at a young age. I was a part of a choir called the Kingdom Kids. It was basically a lady who took all the good kids from the building and put us into a choir. And we did music videos and we would sing at different churches around the neighborhood. So we had our own gigs. Our parents had gigs. Everybody got a gig. Everybody got something to do musically. So it was beautiful because just something positive to do for children. Kids, you got to keep them busy, man. Like, and I'm glad that we did do that. And that, again, that foundation. I didn't know that things will come out to be like this, and I've been able to use all of that, in my life. So I'm grateful for all of those experiences. Plays, I definitely am dramatic. I have acting background as well. My cousins are like Lorenz Tate and all of them, so we were exposed to them and all that early on too. So it's like Rance and I remember we were going to auditions a lot at one point. We did some extra work and stuff, but I definitely have that talent as well. That I've expanded on it here and there, but probably through college, and then I kind of stopped. So but I feel like I'm fulfilled being a songwriter because being a songwriter, having to tell the story and use the song as a script, I'm still exercising that muscle of acting. You know what I mean? Because that's a part of singing. You know what I mean? It's all kind of like goes together. So I think all of it was for something, for sure.
And what was one of the first songs that you wrote, and how old were you?
Oh man, that's funny. My sister had her first child when I was 12. Yes. And it was a long, long, drawn out pregnancy. Like, it was just crazy. So I remember Rance and I just being like in the waiting room, just waiting and waiting. And before I knew it, we had written a song about it. And it was like, I think that's the first time, but I did it out of boredom. You know what I'm saying? And it's like songwriting for me came out of boredom. Or came out of just feeling misunderstood all the time. I feel like nobody understands me. I've always felt like that because I'm emotional and I'm tapped into a lot of empathy and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like I had to put it in a song in order for people to receive how I really feel. But I think that was the time where I realized this is something that I wasn't great at it though then. Like, of course, it took time to get good at it, but just being bored got me into songwriting. Literally. Yeah.
And when you said you brought up feeling like you're being misunderstood, things. So what does that look like when you say that? Do you still feel that way today?
Sometimes, honestly, sometimes. I just feel like anytime you're in the arts, like we do it for a reason. Like the arts is because you realize the more you do it that everybody feels exactly how you feel, actually, once you do it enough. But at first you don't really know that until people are like, oh, I can relate to that, but you feel like you're alone. And really the true reason for songs and songwriting and movies and all the stuff that's in the arts is for people to not feel alone. That's the whole point of it. I didn't understand that then because you feel alone while you're doing it in the process, but it's actually to make people not feel alone. So you actually get to lead the way of people's emotions and perspectives and show people how to look at things a different way and not just out of your eyes. And the more you do songwriting and the more you read scripts or whatever it is, you'll learn that we're all pretty much the same. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty and the unity in music that I think that it's really just beautiful. I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I mean? It's so necessary though, for sure.
Okay. And what are some of the songs? Do we know of these notable songs that you may have contributed to?
I've contributed a bunch of songs, but a lot of them are mostly a vocal. People end up loving my voice. You know what I mean? I'm a part of like I sing on "Dedication" by Kendrick Lamar and Nipsey. That was probably one of the bigger records that I was a part of. I recently was nominated for Best Album for Tiana Taylor, so I wrote 2 songs on there. One's called Final Destination, and the other one's called Shut Up. So that's another thing. When you start to work for people and work with people, it really shows you that we're all the same. And just to be able to tell your side of the story. What else? Done a lot of background work. I've toured. I did a short tour with Beyonce. I did the Dubai show with her. So I've been able to like hit the highest level of being a background vocalist. There's been a lot of cool things that I've done. But honestly, I think the coolest thing that I've done is to be able to teach and give it back. Because all the stuff that I've gone through, like in a positive way, or anything that's happened to me from the day that I got here musically, I feel like I've used it and been able to use that back because I see myself in others, and I'm able to like navigate any room, any student, any place, and it's been really beneficial for me.
So why is that important to you now?
Why is it important? Because I understand how many people are hurt and broken, and how many people need help to kind of push through their artistry. It's not one person. There may be one face, but there's multiple people behind that person really pushing them forward. Hundreds sometimes, and to see that is pretty incredible, because I've always known you can't do this alone. Hence, that's why I've done it with my family. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an alone type of thing. But it's beautiful to see, like, if everybody play the position, and just highest level of incredible success and just changing the world. That's really all it is. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's a lot of work that goes in it. And it's one of the most unthanked jobs you ever could have, like being a background singer or being a songwriter. And it's like all this behind the scenes work, but you really need us. Just what it is. So, pay us, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah.
So what is the difficulty within songwriting that you have experienced?
Well, there's a lot of difficulties, actually. People are, I don't know how to say this without sounding, it's a service, right? It's a service, right? But sometimes your skill set can push somebody forward. As long as there's always someone being built up within something that you're doing, or you're bringing it to a higher level, I think that is it's discredited more than it should be. I feel like telling someone's story for them is difficult. You have to have empathy to do that. You have to have a heart. You have to care. You have to go through life. And it's sensitive, and it's hypersensitive, and but there's also a beauty in it that person feels safe with you because you're able to articulate things that they may not be able to articulate. So whether it be vocally and performance-wise or lyrically, whatever, it's a big job. It's a big job, and it should be totally more respected. I think now that the way music is moving, futuristically, like, people are like watering it down a little, which it shouldn't be. It's just the way it's been set up for years. It needs to be revamped completely, because it's a huge job. It really is.
And what are you hoping to see with your career and your story within music?
I've always wanted to lead by example. I want anybody who comes in contact with me to find their voice, and not just like their actual voice, like finding like how they feel matters, how their perspective matters, how their uniqueness matters, like not all the pressure that comes with how you look, like to just not care about the like superficial things that the industry has kind of put into the system of the industry. You know what I mean? Like being proud of who you are at any size, any age, any weight, any of those things. Like I really hate stuff like that, because I feel like those are the things that stopped me and others. And it's like, it's difficult when you're in the room and sometimes you're the best one in there. And it's like, but this person looks like that. Or like, it's just weird stuff like that that kind of tests your faith and tests your ability. But never to question what room you're in, like you're supposed to be there, those types of things. And a lot of that stuff I've already fought through. So not only is right now, I kind of just, I move as a mentor, as a teacher, as an educator, as a professional in the music industry that's still relevant and still working like actively in the industry. I think that changes people's trust factor with me alone just because they know I haven't stopped. I'm not saying I used to do this. I still do it. So that makes it easier and better for me. And I just want to pour into people and help people get to their best selves, their higher selves, because this industry is hard and a lot of people don't do that. And a lot of people are very selfish and they don't care about other people. And I feel like my family has done that by opening up the 1500 Sound Academy, by Rance creating a path for musicians all over the world to have employment, whether he wants to go on tour or not. You know what I mean? There's things that have been established, legacy moves that have been established that we need to continue because we put in so much hard work collectively over the years, which was the way to go because you can't do this alone. And I think that those are the types of things that can be here after we're gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about the legacy moves. I'm all about pushing music forward and really people being excellent in it because I know how powerful it is, and it can't be watered down. You know what I mean? It just can't. Like, whether people bring, okay, AI is a factor now, great. You know what I mean? But that should only be used for where you're lacking. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be, like, dependent on, like, you have to still be tight. You have to still be human. Like, you can't take humans out of the world. Like, stop. Like, they need to stop trying to do that because it's one of those things where it starts with human, it ends with the human. You know what I mean? And you still have to have human factors in everything that's in the arts. It can't be messed with. That's what hasn't been messed with for so long. People still need to train. They still need to be good. They still need to practice. You can't just push a button because, like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? I just want people not to think there's an easy way out because there's no shortcuts in this. So that's just mine.
So some of the difficulties I know that within music, but also with family. You spoke about your mom, fighting cancer for 3 times. Where were you in that, like, in the space with music and the passing of her? Like, where were you with that? Have you ever felt like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more?
Of course. Of course I felt like that. She was one of my biggest supporters, and I definitely felt like that, but I knew that wasn't an option because I also knew that music was also the same thing that helped me through it. It's been the most consistent thing in my life. It outlasted everything. That's why I feel so strongly about it. So, and even my mom used it to get through. Not the first time she beat it, the second time she beat it, last time she fought, but she didn't, But even that, having that foundation, having that church, all that church we went to, all those songs, all those hymns, like that stuff really got me through that. And I owe it to music to not let people play with it. I'm serious about it. I don't know. Everybody knows me. They know that. So it's not a secret. And my family is like, so there's a lot of reasons for me feeling the way I feel. And I'm just a vessel. I'm just here to try to make that, help people get through what they got going on. Because we all got stuff going on. It's been there for me. So I recommend it.
What do you, if God forbid today was the last day, what is it that you would want to leave to everyone?
Everybody have access to my music. I have been helping everyone else and being, I don't know if it's middle child syndrome or what it is, but I love helping people. That's one of my strengths and flaws. Because sometimes you lose yourself in helping other people. And so that being said, if I left today, I would want my music out there because I know it can help a lot of people. Because not only do I get to make music and create music and absorb it as well, but I've put stuff out, but I definitely this year I made a commitment to myself to put out more. and not let the things stop me that used to stop me or that stops everyone else, if you know what I mean. I kind of mentioned that earlier. But anyway, because you don't realize you got to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? But I have a story to tell as well. I'm not just just something, just helping someone else's career all the time. I also have my own thing going, so I definitely want to push forward for that. But yeah, just getting my music out there would be a blessing. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay. You want to leave everybody with their music. And what music should we be looking for?
Well, I have so many different, because I'm a writer and because I've been exposed to a lot of different music, it's not really a genre, I would say. It's just Alex. Like, it's just me. You know what I mean? Like, I have different elements of different things, but most of it kind of categorizes under R&B. But I like feel-good music. I like just chill music to help people get through their day. Like, I don't always face the things that people don't talk about. Sometimes I do, but I understand that the more, if you take the healing approach, you get more out of that and you get more results. And it's not, for me, it's not like I ever cared about, I just want to help people. Like, how many other people it reaches. That's just what it is. Like, I don't do it for like selfish reasons. You know what I mean? But yeah, just letting them into my world and all the things that I've been privy to and the producers that I've been able to work with. I've been really blessed to be around the best. So I know there's a high expectation for the type of music that I create, but yeah.
When should we expect it?
Give me like a couple months. I'm still working on it. I have a bunch of stuff. I just got to make a decision on what I'm putting out because there's so many songs. I've just been literally just gathering stuff over the years, and then some of the stuff that I have in place, I just keep it for myself. But it ain't doing no good on my computer, so I gotta let it go, guys. Gotta let it go.